want to thank you for viewing this video. It is October 22nd, 2019, and in a couple of weeks there's going to be a city council election in Council Bluffs, Iowa. There are 6 seats open, and I'm sorry, let me start over again. Take 2. Thanks for tuning into this broadcast. My name is Brian Jack Holder, and I'm the Libertarian Party candidate for Iowa's 3rd Congressional District. I've run for this congressional district 3 times before, and I'm running again next year for a 4th time. But tonight I filmed a city council candidate forum put on by the Council Bluffs Downtown Neighborhood Association, and they had it at the public library tonight. It's October 22nd, 2019, and there's a city election in a couple of weeks on November 5th. They had a primary a few weeks ago, and I believe there were 10 candidates, and 6 advanced to this general election on November 5th, and they'll be voting for 3 city council members in a couple of weeks. So I do not live in the city. I live outside of the city limits, so I'm not going to be voting in this election, but I filmed the forum tonight, and it was a wonderful forum. Everyone participated in it. Everyone was friendly, and it really makes you feel good to be a citizen of Council Bluffs and a citizen of Iowa. So the forum runs about 90 minutes, and I'm editing it now as soon as I put this introduction section on there. If anyone wants to sign my nominating petitions, you can send me an email at bjh12572@gmail.com. My phone number is 402-689-1817. It's Brian Jack Holder is my Facebook page, and I need to get 375 signatures before next March to qualify for the general election ballot next year for the Iowa's 3rd Congressional District. So I want to thank everybody for viewing this video. I want to thank everyone that signed my nominating petitions tonight, and I want everyone to try and get your friends involved in politics, discuss the issues. You know, it's our government, and we have the government that we deserve and we tolerate, but we want to get more people out there involved and more people voting. So thank you for watching, and here's the forum.
Tell people who you are.
My name is Brian Jack Holder. Sorry, I won't talk so loud. A lot of people in here know me. I run for Congress 3 times. I'm running again next year. If anyone wants to sign my petition, I need to get 375 signatures before next March to file my papers to run for the 4th time, just to represent everybody. I'm a member of the Libertarian Party of Iowa, but I'm also a citizen journalist, so I film debates and forums and legislative coffees. This will be on my YouTube channel, and that's Brian Jack Holder, and I'm going to go home tonight, edit this, and have it uploaded. Film at 11 for anyone that wants to watch it. And then I also took some photos of the candidates here, and I'll be giving those to the candidates to use for whatever purposes they want. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming out here tonight, and feel free to share the video once I get it uploaded.
Thank you, Brian.
I put a little grease on the bottom of it, and that works. Yeah.
Usually does stick some bubble gum to it. Good to go.
Okay, well, if anyone has bubble gum, please put it out. Thank you. Try not to be tardy, folks.
Can everyone hear me? Perfect. Well, it looks like it's 6:30. I'm trying not to be tardy. Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening. I wanted to let you know that we have Joe Shearer from the Nonpareil. We have Brian Holder here, who's taking still photographs, and he's doing some videotaping. And we also have John Schlicker, thank you. I apologize for that. First, could I have everyone put their cell phones to silent? And then also let you know there is coffee and bottled water at the back of the room. So what I wanted to tell you is, tonight we don't have plans to discuss anything that's already been settled. That means no discussion of city medians on Broadway, things like that. We have no control over that, it's already a done deal. So what we are here to discuss are things that impact our neighborhoods, and especially the neighborhoods around the downtown core. I want to thank, Corey Peters. She's going to be our timekeeper. We will have 3 minutes for the candidates to answer the question once I read it. Turner Morgan couldn't be here this evening, but he was the one who sent out the invitations. They went out to all the neighborhood leaders within the downtown neighborhoods themselves. So we had Canesville-Tinley, the Bayless neighborhood, the Gibraltar neighborhood, the Lincoln Fairview neighborhood, the Lincoln Dell neighborhood, and the Fairmount Park Neighborhood Association. My name is Michelle Muchler Burns. Professionally, I'm a registered nurse and certified case manager. Personally, I'm the president of the Fairmount Park Neighborhood Association, and I have a passion for nonprofits. We want to remind the city council candidates, the incumbents and the candidates themselves, that they're elected to serve the city and the residents of Council Bluffs, and they should be acting on our behalf and not their own. So I'd first like the candidates to please introduce themselves. You'll have 3 minutes to tell us a little bit about yourself. Please mention if you live in an organized neighborhood, which would be like Fairmount Park neighborhood or any of those others that were mentioned. Again, some people might live in the North Broadway neighborhood, and that's fine. We weren't able to invite all the neighborhoods just because of the size of this venue, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Joe. Since you're the closest, I'll pick on you first.
Sure.
We'll have 3 minutes. Let me explain just a little bit with Corey and the timekeeping. So she'll put up a green when it's a go time. When you have 30 seconds remaining, she'll hold up yellow. And then red, of course, that's stop, you're done. And a couple of these questions that we are going to go over have 2 parts, and I will let you know if there are 2 parts to the question. But of course, your introduction, you have 3 minutes.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joe DeSalvo. I'm running for City Council. I'm from Council Bluffs. I've lived here all my life. I am the Vice President of the Eagle Trail Homeowners Association. Prior to that, I lived off North 8th Street, so I wasn't part of that. But we, in our association, we meet once a year officially, and then if something else comes up, we have to get together and discuss anything. Would be nice to kind of be included with some of this, being we're on the outskirts. I understand the need for time and space. But I went to Abraham Lincoln High School. I graduated from there. I went off to college. That was the only time I moved away from town. And then I moved back because I wanted to be here. You know, Council Bluffs is where I'm from. It's where my family's from. You know, my folks are here. My aunts, uncles, grandparents, everyone else that I've known most of my life are all from this area. So this area is very important to me. You know, there's folks that live in Council Bluffs that have moved in, and not that they don't find it important, but the roots kind of run deep in my family here. So when I got done with college, I took a job at the banks here in town because finding work was kind of a rough go. I've done that, and from there I've kind of moved on from one thing or the other, kind of a jack of all trades. I've worked in banking, I've worked in finance briefly, I'm in insurance now, and at the same time I've always worked as a side job in the service industry. With my wife and her cousins, we own a small business here in town, so we employ a handful of folks here. We deal with that. You know, as I said a couple other nights ago, everything we do, we need to keep in mind, as you said, that we are all residents of Council Bluffs, but everyone here is our neighbor. So we need to do what's best, not only for ourselves, but for them as well. So, for the most part, that is where I came from. And where I'd like to go is, again, I'd like to see more cohesiveness with some of the other neighborhoods in town, not just, you guys have a really nice federation or conglomeration, whatever you want to call it, of neighborhoods. It would be nice to work with. Some of us on the periphery, and that's a two-way street, part of that's on us as well. I'd be more than happy to, you know, facilitate some of that. With that, I'll turn it over to Deb, and I thank you guys, and I would appreciate your vote on the 5th.
We still have 30, Roger. This is just the warning. So if there's anything else you want to say,
I'm Joe.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, that's okay.
She can't see your table test.
Right there on your tag. I can't read that.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. It's good to see a full room tonight. I'm Deb Bass, and I too am a candidate for City Council, and I'm very excited to be here tonight to talk to you. First of all, I have a very interesting career path. I came to Council Bluffs in 1971 when I started school at Jenny Edmondson. I'm a registered nurse. But I always had an inkling for business as well. I worked at the hospital in surgery and labor and delivery for 11 years, and during that time frame went back to college. My degree is in healthcare administration. Prior to that, Y2K was big in the landscape, so started a consulting company, an IT consulting company called Bass & Associates, Inc. Sold that in 2001 to Huntel. I stayed on there for a couple of years under contract, and then was approached by a group of individuals that wanted to start a health information exchange for the state of Nebraska. And it's called NEHI, the Nebraska Health Information Exchange, and that has now gone on to be a very successful entity as well. During that time frame, though, I have always lived in Council Bluffs, except for a period of time when I moved out to Carson to be closer to grandparents, but I've always lived in Potawatomi County. And I've always been very committed to serving the communities in which I live. I have a long-standing resume of the boards that I've served on, and the different projects that I've been involved in as a professional and as a community volunteer. I currently am on a number of hospital boards. I am the secretary for the Methodist Health System. I'm on Jenny Edmondson. I'm on Methodist Hospital Board, the VNA Board. I'm also still on the Council Bluffs Convention and Visitors Board. Mayor Hannafin contacted me in 2012 when they wanted to break that off and make that a separate entity. And it is still alive and well and doing very well today. So I bring that experience to the table. I am retired, a little over a year, so I've approached this as a full-time job. I've spent since May preparing for this. I've met with department heads, city leaders, visionaries, anyone that's wanted to talk to me about what they want to see and have happen in Council Bluffs. I've also spent quite a bit of time canvassing neighborhoods. Just this last weekend, I think we totaled, I was out again today up and down Lincoln, and we're close to 25 hours just over the last week. So, but I love doing that because I love to talk to people. And I want to give a shout out to the Lincoln Avenue neighborhood. Most people knew the election was November 5th and they were planning to vote. So let's hear it for Lincoln. So with that, I will bring my experience to the table. I very much want to serve Council Bluffs, and I know that the others are going to talk about this, but Nate, Sharon, and I have come together and we will devote $5,000 of the salary. The council's getting a raise in January, and we want to take those dollars and dedicate that to a neighborhood association grant. So the yellow card's up, now the red. Thank you very much.
Well, good evening. I'm Councilmember Nate Watson, and I was born and raised in the area. Went away to school, was trained as a historian and a political scientist, and then got my doctorate in the law and a postdoctorate in legislative practice, which is the study of how legislatures work and pass laws. In that time, I interned in the U.S. House of Representatives, the British Parliament, the Iowa Senate, and the Iowa Ethics and Campaign Disclosure Board. Was involved in many campaigns, both state and national, as well as local. After school, I moved back to help raise my niece. She's 16, and I still help raise her along with my mother, her grandmother, in the area. And I took a job at a local firm, mostly working in insurance law the first several years, and also represented a lot of smaller towns, the largest being Carter Lake. And in my work, I really wanted to get back to why I had become a lawyer, so I started to work with different neighborhood groups and helped co-found my own neighborhood along with Michelle Muchler-Burns, Fairmont Park, and founded the Downtown Neighborhood Alliance, and at the end of the day helped restart 16 of the neighborhoods in our community. Through that process, then eventually I actually took a year away and left private practice of law to head the neighborhoods effort full-time. At that point, it was struggling, the particular organization I was trying to save. It wasn't able to end up saving it, but I have no regrets. It was truly a great effort, and the neighborhood effort continues in spite of its closure. Then I took a job in the public sector in my day job. I was Nebraska Medicaid's attorney for about 4 years, and I'm now the deputy director of Nebraska Medicaid, so I'm responsible for about 800 employees, and I have to manage an annual budget of $2.1 billion. And in that, I work in a lot of medical professionals, a lot of lawyers, a lot of data and analytics people, as we work to provide health care to very poor children, disabled and elderly people, about 250,000. My time on the council has been spent really trying to bring best practice to our community. I've updated our council rules of procedure the first time since the war, World War II, that is. And right now I'm currently in the process of rewriting all of our regs, our ordinances rather. We rewrote, Sharon White and I rewrote the housing chapter entirely to put in place about 24 business-friendly provisions along with active rental inspections. I want to do that over another term where I go through for the first time since 1853, I looked, to rewrite our laws. A lot of them are old red tape. They're written in 19th century English, and I think they ought to be updated and ought to be relevant. And that's a particular skill that I can bring, along with what I bring from my neighborhood's background. And I ask for your vote on November 5th. Thank you.
Thanks, Nate. I'm Chad Hannon. Like everyone else up here, I'm a candidate for City Council. Fifth generation Council Bluffs resident, St. Albert graduate, and I attended Iowa Western after that. My wife, who's my high school sweetheart, also a St. Albert graduate. We have 3 kids together, 8, 5, and 3. Why I'm running here, or actually I should answer your question first. I belong to a neighborhood association. I live in Forest Glen. We do have a homeowners association, but we do not have a formal neighborhood association. Something I think that our neighborhood could definitely benefit from. My community experience includes serving on the 712 Initiative Board of Directors as one of the founding members. With Nate's help, many years ago when he was at the Neighborhood Association, we worked in partnership, Bluffs Downtown and Nate's neighborhood organization, really as he was working to get that grassroots effort off the ground. As Nate indicated, it didn't work out, and he put a significant amount of time behind that. 712 kind of picked it up, but not necessarily at the same level. And we're very fortunate to have someone like Turner Morgan leading the charge for the 712 initiative and helping grow not only the neighborhood associations, but the cohesiveness in between neighborhoods as well. Some of the things that 712 has brought forward for neighborhoods are things like the block party trailer, which I'm sure many of you have had the opportunity to utilize. What that's done is it's provided everything you need to have for a block party inside of your neighborhood for a $50 refundable deposit. As long as you bring the trailer back and the contents, you get your $50 back. We also work with you in the city to help close down the street, coordinate fire, EMS, and police to come up and meet kids and neighbors and help grow all around relationships. And really that's what I'm hoping to achieve on the city council, is to help build relationships around the community, not only amongst the city and the county, but also amongst council members and with the mayor and things like that. My other board experience, I also serve on the executive board for the Council Bluffs Chamber of Commerce. I'm currently the secretary. Small business is a passion of mine. My grandfather was the president of the Chamber of Commerce in 1971, something that I hope to follow in his footsteps. If that's presented to me. Very proud of the business community in Council Bluffs and what they've done. Would like to help see that grow. And sorry, that totally threw me for a loop. I'm not used to this yet. I'm not a career politician, as you can hear. I don't even know how to close that. But my time is almost up. Thank you for coming. I know that there's a lot that anybody can be doing right now, and I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you educating yourself on the candidates and where we stand on things, and I would appreciate your vote on November 5th. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sharon White, and I currently serve on the Council of City Council. I'm in my 9th year on the council, and the reason for the odd number is I was appointed to serve a vacant 1-year term. So instead of 8 years, I'm in my 9th year. I live in the Lincoln Fairview neighborhood. When I graduated from high school, I moved to Florida and met my husband. And he's a very kind man, and he brought me home. He said it was cheaper to bring me home than to pay the telephone bills. So that was free cell phones. And immediately got immersed into the community. I took a job at the Board of Realtors as their executive officer, and I worked there for about 7 years, and then went into appraising. All of my background is in real estate, and I worked with Kessler, McGivern and Associates for about 17 years, and then I opened my own company. So I am a small business owner, and that has been a very good move for me. I've really enjoyed that. I've been involved with the neighborhood, in my neighborhood association, but not just that. I've been involved with the Canesville-Tinley neighborhood over the years. I was their liaison for quite some time, and that neighborhood put so much effort in, and it was really difficult because they had fewer homeowners. They had a lot more tenants, and they were even able to get the tenants to come to those meetings. And they were quite successful. I think they're still successful today. I currently serve on Advanced Southwest Iowa, which is the Economic Development Committee for the City of Council Bluffs and Potawatomi County. I was one of the founding members of that and helped develop that corporation. And just in the last 4 years, that corporation has been responsible for $124 million in economic development in Council Bluffs and Potawatomi County. We work every day, that committee, along with our CEO, which is Paula Hazelwood, to make sure that we are able to bring in companies and provide jobs, and we are always targeting high-wage jobs. The thing that's most important to this community is not minimum wage jobs. It's high-paying jobs, living wage jobs, and that's what we work on all the time. I also serve on the Children's Square Board. That is another passion of mine, is the children in the community, and I'm serving in my 6th year on that board. And Children's Square is really an icon in our community. I think it's probably, in some ways, touched everybody's lives, or they know somebody from there. As far as neighborhood associations and what I will continue to do and work for the neighborhood associations, one of my key things that I want to do, if I were elected to serve again, is work on the revitalization of our urban core and try to put money into the housing that has fallen into disrepair. And we need to find ways to direct some of our funding back into those neighborhoods. And I do appreciate the neighborhoods having us here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for putting this on tonight. Thank you everybody for coming. My name's Roger Sando. I'm up for re-election. I'm running again for many reasons, but a couple because I truly believe I'm up here to be the voice of the citizens and the businesses of this community. I ran my campaign in 2015 on investing in our youth, and since then I've become a mentor with teammates. I have a 6th grader. I was at Kern today, right around the time school got out. It's kind of a mess down there, but it was interesting. The kids are fun to be around. I want the community to know that they can trust me, and I do my homework. I'll give you a little story about work ethic and how I was raised. In 1985, my family, my mom and my dad and my uncle opened up St. Brothers Sign Company here on South Main, where ConAgra's parking lot is now. Well, he was in another spot before that, but that's where he was. But when they opened, he couldn't afford business cards. So he hand wrote them and he cut them up, and he walked around town and gave them to people. And that's how I was raised. That's the work ethic that I bring to the table. You know, I want people to know that in 2015 when I ran, I was kind of hammered for not being. I mean, I was 29 years old. I was hammered for not being on boards, not being past president of different things. I'll give you an update. I'm still not the past president. I'm not on any board. I have recently been asked to be on the Council Bluffs Community School District Master Plan Committee, so I am on that. But I truly believe that I am the voice for the citizens and the businesses, and I ask for your voice, or for your vote on November 5th.